Part 2 of Full Court Press Basketball Debate, the December 29th edition. Chris Guyette here with Yvonne Juneau. We're going to start this part off with the Christmas Day games. There were 5 of them, all very big games. First one, the headline reads, Yvonne, Washington races past the struggling Knicks. Score to this game was 102-91 in favor of Washington.
As it should have been.
Yvonne, your thoughts on the outcome of this game?
Well, I was disappointed because I'm trying to be a loyal fan, so I picked New York to win, but I got it wrong. And I'm very disappointed, and I'm just not going to be able to be loyal like I'd like to be, but I would love for New York to do better than what they're doing. But based on the past and based on what they're doing this season, it's just not worth it anymore. I don't know what's going on. I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry for Melo because he can't be everywhere doing everything by himself. They're just not a team.
Well, I'm not going to talk about the Knicks because I've talked over and over and over again about what I think the problem is in New York. I think it's a coaching issue. The players are playing. Okay, you put up 91 points at home. I mean, the Knicks are averaging almost 100 points a game. It's not a playing issue. The other night, they took Sacramento to overtime and scored 129 points.
Yeah.
It's not the players. Then if it's not the players, there's only one other option. I mean, am I wrong? If it's not the players, because the GM in the front office is not on the floor when you're playing the game.
No.
So if it's not the players, then it's got to be a coaching issue. Okay? I'm not going to talk about the Knicks. I want to talk about the fact that the Washington Wizards
are on fire.
Are the second most dangerous team in the Eastern Conference right now.
They are on fire.
You can throw the Toronto Raptors at me.
Definitely not the Washington team of last year.
You can throw the Toronto Raptors at me all you want.
Mm-hmm.
I like Chicago because Chicago beat Toronto, which we'll talk about later in the debate.
Okay.
And I like this Washington team. I like that for the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay? Very dangerous in multiple ways. John Wall, if he's not in the MVP talks, there's a problem.
I agree.
Okay?
I
John
agree.
Wall, Bradley Beal coming back from his injury. Okay?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
And then you got the truth. Paul Pierce, who's gonna lead you to the promised land.
Yeah.
Okay?
That is the best addition that Washington could have
Well, they
made
needed a veteran.
to their team.
Oh, yeah.
His experience, he's a veteran. Age aside, he is ageless.
I don't care about age.
He is ageless.
Age is a number.
He's a leader. He's a veteran. He's got the experience. Been there, done that.
He's Paul Pierce.
Exactly.
He's Paul Pierce.
Exactly.
What more do you need to know?
That's all you. He is the best addition they could have made to their team.
So the question B is, are the Wizards a legit threat in the East? I think we both just answered that question. I want to ask you.
Yeah.
You have right now, right this very minute, you have to tell me the Eastern Conference Finals. Who are your two teams? Like, I just gave you Chicago and Washington as my two teams in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, I agree.
Chicago and Washington?
Yeah.
Over Toronto?
Yeah. If you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, because Toronto was like...
Well, Toronto's still the best in the East.
Well, okay, now wait a minute, though. But Toronto must have had some easy teams to play in the beginning.
Their schedule's been a little time. A little bit. But lately it's been difficult, and they've been doing well. They've been doing well lately, though.
Okay.
Even with the difficult schedule. They're still number one.
Okay, I understand that. But they're not number one by much.
Not much.
Okay? But looking forward, I see Chicago. Let me qualify this. If the members of the Chicago team stay well and healthy.
I.e. Derrick Rose.
Mostly, yes. If they stay well and healthy and they play like they have been playing these last few games, these last couple of weeks, then I would definitely say Chicago and Washington. Something happens, Derek has to sit down.
But in the East, I want to tell you who my dark horse team is in the East. Watch out for the Atlanta Hawks.
Okay.
Watch out. 16 wins of the past 19 games.
Yeah.
Watch out for that dark horse. As for this game, it was all Washington. From the get-go.
Yeah.
It was all Washington.
From the sound of the
Domination.
buzzer. Yeah.
Game number 2.
Okay.
The headline reads, Westbrook leads Durantless Thunder over the Spurs. Yvonne Juno, 114-106 Oklahoma City at San Antonio. Your thoughts on the outcome?
Well, I got it wrong.
I did too. It's the only one I got wrong.
I got it wrong. And I'm kind of speechless. I mean, this is not a 2-point win, you know, without Kevin Durant on the floor. And they did this over San Antonio. There's really not a whole lot to say, except congratulations to them. And I knew OKC was good. I did not think that they could do something like this without Kevin Durant. I didn't. And it makes you wonder. I'm playing devil's advocate here. Makes you wonder. Kevin Durant is definitely beneficial to the team. Okay, we know that. We know how good he is. We know how good he can be. But is there something that the team is doing when he's not on the floor that maybe they're not doing when he is on the floor? You follow what I'm saying? Is he getting the ball too much? I mean, it makes you ask all these questions, because if they can beat San Antonio by this much of a margin without Kevin Durant, I mean, I'm baffled.
Well, okay. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. Kawhi Leonard did not play in this game.
Okay.
Tony Parker did not play in this game.
Uh-huh.
Either one of those guys plays in this game, I believe San Antonio wins. Okay?
Okay.
That is not to discredit the Oklahoma City Thunder in this game.
No, plus the fact that they
Because-
played in San Antonio.
Because Tim Duncan played in this game.
Yeah.
Manu Ginobili played in this game. The rest of them did, besides Parker and Leonard. Now, Parker and Leonard, that's a big chunk right there.
Yeah.
You can argue, did that lead to Oklahoma City's victory? Maybe. And I'm not going to say probably, because there was no Kevin Durant.
No.
If there was a Kevin Durant, then
we
yes.
would say yes.
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 But both teams were missing key components.
Right.
So it was almost an even playing field.
The only way it would have been a more even playing field is if you would have taken Westbrook out of the OKC lineup.
It was almost
Okay.
an even playing field.
I
Even
got it
so-
wrong. I was shocked.
Even so, I did not believe on Christmas Day in my heart of hearts that Oklahoma City, without the MVP Kevin Durant, would come in to an environment like San Antonio and
On their court.
and straight up win the game.
Yeah.
They didn't win this by luck. It wasn't a game-winning shot. It
No.
wasn't a controversial call.
No.
They straight up won this game by 8 points.
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
question B, and I really want to get your thoughts on this. Is Oklahoma City a threat in the West? Why or why not? There are many differing opinions on this throughout the NBA world. I want to get yours.
I don't know. I could argue both sides. My gut tells me yes. Where do you see them in seeding?
Well, let's be honest with ourselves here. If you're a true, honest NBA fan, I'm not going to say unbiased because I'm biased to certain teams. The Pelicans, the Knicks, the
Of
Lakers,
course.
the
We all
Celtics, the
are.
Spurs. Okay. If you are a true NBA fan, you know that Oklahoma City very uncharacteristically has a losing record this season.
Yeah.
Okay? Much of that is due to the fact that they lost not only Durant, but Westbrook for
For
2.5 months.
yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Big chunk of the schedule.
Way behind the 8 ball to begin the season.
The problem is you've got so many good teams in the West.
Yeah.
They are already so far behind the 8
Yeah.
ball. And I'm not referring to Golden State. I'm not referring to the fact that
No,
Golden
but
State.
I don't think. I really have a problem with thinking that they're going to be able to catch up.
Well, wait. I'm not. Hang on. I'm not referring to the fact that Golden State's number 1. There is a team in Oklahoma City's division, not conference, named the Portland Trailblazers. That's 25-7. Okay, that's just in their division. So you've got to face that team 3 more times this year. You've
Yeah.
already lost to them once.
Yeah.
This team is very uncharacteristically not going to be a top 4 seed in the Western Conference playoffs this year. At no fault of their own. Okay? They lost their 2 best players. This is not their fault. They did the best they could, and give them credit. They
Right.
won some games
Yeah.
that we did not think were possible for
Right.
them to win.
Right.
Okay? This team is going to end up maybe a 6 or 7 seed. Maybe.
I don't even see
Maybe.
it that high.
Maybe. You only got 8 possible seeds.
I know that.
Maybe the 7th seed. That being said, they are the most dangerous 7 seed in the history of the league.
If they make 7. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because I'll even say the most dangerous 8 seed in the league. Because let's say Golden State stays on top. Golden State and Oklahoma City, they play exactly alike.
Yeah.
Probably the 2 biggest home court advantages in the entire league.
Right.
Okay?
Oh, the fan base for both of them is
I
unbelievable.
don't think it's a stretch to say Oklahoma City could win that series. If Westbrook and Durant are healthy, it's not a stretch to say that. Seeding is a number. Seeding is a number.
What do you think would be the outcome of Westbrook going against Curry?
Well, Westbrook would dominate Curry. For one reason, and one reason only. Aggressiveness.
Right.
Defense.
Right.
Ferociousness.
Well, I think he'd run all over him.
And size.
Yeah.
Westbrook's 6'3". People forget Westbrook is 6'3".
Right. Because he doesn't look it.
He's 6'3".
Right.
And is that quick.
Yeah.
Okay? And can score like a maniac. Curry shoots threes.
Right.
Curry,
You can sum it up with that one
time out.
sentence.
Now, wait. Time out. Let's give the kid credit. He has improved
Yeah.
on his inside scoring game.
Well, he's improved on covering the floor.
He's
yeah.
improved his game all around. He's
Yeah.
having a fantastic season. I'm not saying the guy's not a good player.
Right.
I'm simply saying in a 7-game series,
Right.
I trust Russ Westbrook more than I trust Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
Because, again, Westbrook's been there. They don't have a ring, but at least they've been.
Right.
Okay? And then, of course, you add Kevin Durant. And let's not forget Serge Ibaka plays on this team.
Right.
Okay? Anthony Morrow, big-time clutch three-point shooter from New Orleans
Right.
last year. They got some pieces. They have the potential to be the most dangerous 7 or 8 seed that the league has ever seen. Yeah, they're a threat. If they get into the playoffs.
Right. They gotta make
They
it
have to get
first.
in to be a threat.
Right. Right.
Now,
Coming in at 10 or 11, they're gonna cut it.
well, you don't make the playoffs.
Right, that's
So-
what I'm saying.
Game number 3, and this is the big one. Dwayne Wade outshines LeBron James in his return to Miami. 101-91 Miami. Final score of this game. LeBron's return to Miami. Yvonne Juno, let's first get your thoughts on the outcome of the game.
I have such mixed emotions about this game. It was very touching and heartwarming, and yet very, I don't know, I had mixed emotions. You could tell it was brother against brother. You could tell that neither one, they both wanted it so bad, but they really didn't want to beat each other. It was moving and emotional to watch them playing against each other. But honestly, just from my own personal point of view, which doesn't mean a whole lot, but Dwayne wanted it more than LeBron did. He did. You could see it. You could feel it. And it showed. And that's the reason they won.
My thoughts on the outcome are that I picked Miami from the very beginning. Because this game was going to come down to those two men.
Of course it was.
But it was going to come down to the point of which man had the biggest killer instinct.
Which one wanted it more? That's what I just said. But it was very touching. It was emotional. It was.
People forgot how good Dwayne Wade was until they saw this game. Albeit myself included. I truly forgot. Look, Dwayne Wade, I've been on the record saying this. Dwayne Wade is my favorite player in the league. I've been on the record saying that. Okay? Still is. I love the way Dwayne Wade plays basketball. He's calm. He's smooth. Everything he does on the floor has a purpose.
He's strategic.
Okay?
Yes.
But I had the pleasure of seeing this game. And it was truly a pleasure.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. LeBron's return was very emotional. The tribute video was very good. Congratulations to Miami. That was a hell of a tribute video.
Yeah.
Congratulations to LeBron for getting the standing ovation, which we'll talk about here in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
It's so well deserved. And kudos to the Miami Heat fans. Okay? Kudos to them.
that which we will talk about surprised the hell out of me.
That was... Yeah. It was so well deserved. I mean, I got goosebumps on my arms right now just thinking about it. But the biggest enjoyment I had of watching that game was every time Dwayne Wade had the ball in his hand, I was seeing 2006 all over again.
Well, that's the whole point. And I've been saying that in how many of our debates? The minute LeBron joined the team, it's like Dwayne had to take a back seat.
But he didn't have to.
Okay.
He was willing.
No.
Yes, he
was. The media and the press forced him to take a back seat.
They did not. Okay, as far as publicizing.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about on the floor.
Okay, I'm not talking about on the floor. I'm talking about the fact that the man never got the recognition he deserved the minute that LeBron joined the team. It's like he was an afterthought in the press, in the media, in the write-ups, in the quotes.
But he didn't mind that.
Okay, but that's because he's such a good person.
Right.
Okay? But he was overlooked, and he was... it was infuriating. And this just goes to prove what a hell of a player he is. And always has been.
People forget that this guy is easily, and listen to what I'm about to say. People forget that Mr. Dwayne Wade is easily a top 5 shooting guard in the NBA history. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, because I don't consider Allen Iverson a point guard. And Allen Iverson is my favorite player of all time. I love Allen Iverson. That is the most don't even get me started on Allen Iverson. That is the most unstoppable force that's the most unstoppable 6 feet 185 you'll ever see.
And one of the most, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
Criticized.
Yeah.
Crucified.
Yeah. Yeah.
And didn't give a crap.
But he couldn't, or it would have affected his game.
Exactly.
He couldn't.
That's
care.
why
He
I have
care
so
what
much
the
respect
press
for him.
and the media and the gossip mongers and all. He couldn't care.
Don't even get me started on Allen Iverson, because I'll spend all of part 2.
It would have affected his game.
I will spend all of part 2 and most of part 3 talking about Allen Iverson. Okay. But the point is, I consider him, that's the most unstoppable 6 foot 190 you'll ever see in basketball. Okay. Mm-hmm. And Dwayne Wade. And he proved just how good he is in this game. Now, speaking of proving things, who had more to prove, Wade or LeBron, and why?
In my mind, Dwayne did. In my mind, Dwayne did.
I agree. Let's see if we think the same thing. Why?
We can do it without LeBron. We don't have to have LeBron James on our team to get to where we want to go. Don't put us down just because LeBron left us. In my mind, that's what I would think if I was him.
Okay. I agree with the Wade a little bit more than LeBron. Okay, Wade did have a little bit more to prove. And
LeBron had something to prove
and that
too.
little bit is what I'm about to tell you. I agree with your thought about we can do it without LeBron.
Right.
Okay? The thing that Wade had to prove in this game, because when LeBron came, people except me and you obviously forgot where Miami's first ring came from in 2006, and that was Dwayne Wade.
Right.
And this became LeBron James's team. And rightfully so.
No, not necessarily.
To a certain extent.
Okay. But I thought the minute he walked on that court and joined that team, it should not have all been King James. We were so sick of hearing
I agree.
LeBron James.
But to a certain extent, it became LeBron's team. With Wade's injuries that he had.
At the time,
okay.
Yeah.
Wade had to prove to himself, to the Miami Heat organization, and to the fans,
right,
that this is my team.
Right.
This has always been my team. This will always be my team. And you know what? He did it.
Right.
With ease. He did it.
Right.
Now, part C, final part. LeBron was very emotional when they showed the tribute video and received probably the biggest standing ovation in a basketball game that I think I've ever heard for one player. Your thoughts?
I was totally floored by it. I did not think that they were going to receive him with that much grace and with that I didn't think the response was going to be as positive as it was. Because when he left, there was so much negativity. So for him to come back, when you burn a guy's jersey, you know, when you talk that much crap about him, the press and the media and the fans and the banners and the picket signs and I'd never in a million years thought that he would be received that positively to come back. Do I admire the fans and do I think they did the right thing? Yes, I do. I admire them for taking the high road and doing the right thing And you know he had butterflies in his stomach before he went out there on that court because he did not know how he was going to be received.
If he didn't have butterflies, he wouldn't have been human.
Exactly. He did not know if he was going to get booed or he was going to get the response that he got. That's the reason he became as emotional as he did, because I think it was as much of a surprise to him, the way they acted, as it was to people like me. Now, do I think there were still some haters in the crowd? Yeah. Because the ones that went to some of the extremes that they went to, when they were burning the jerseys and talking shit about him and all that kind of stuff, I think they were still in that crowd. But I think the vast majority have gotten past that. And I think they decided to take the high road to set the tone of the game. I think if the fans had greeted him with negativity on the floor, it may have reflected on the game.
My thoughts on this,
I think he was very surprised.
and I gave you most of my thoughts already. Kudos to the Miami Heat fans. But I was thinking about this yesterday, and I want to say something that might hit the Miami Heat fans that are listening out there in a way they haven't even been hit before with this subject. LeBron deserves this because LeBron did the Miami Heat 3 favors. 2012, he won him a ring.
Right.
2013, he won them a ring. And the third favor is that he came to Miami in the first place. Because let's remember, LeBron James was a free agent. LeBron didn't even have to go to Miami in the first place.
Right.
So by him signing with Miami, he's doing you a favor. He deserves the standing ovation from everybody.
And they were but you're forgetting something. They were happy that he came.
Right.
They were thrilled.
But he's doing you a favor.
And they saw it that way. It's when he got ready to leave and go home.
Which is wrong. Sorry. If you're a true fan, that's wrong. He's doing what's best for his family.
Well,
At first, maybe there's, oh, come on, LeBron, really?
right.
But he's coming back to the arena that he played in for. He went to 4 every year he played on the Miami Heat team, they were in the finals.
Yep.
What more do you want?
They wanted him to stay.
He's doing what's best for his family.
Well,
The man's going to do what's best for his family, and I respect him for that.
I respect him for that too. But the fans out there that don't give a shit about family, and the ones that feel like, oh, well, he should be doing what's best.
Just remember.
Exactly.
Just remember when you're hating on LeBron James, if you're a Miami Heat fan, that he did you a favor by coming to Miami in the first place. Just remember that.
There's a lot of people that would say that you are very biased by saying that.
I'm not biased. I like LeBron. I'm not a LeBron lover. I like LeBron. But he didn't have to sign with Miami. He
Right.
could have gone to Atlanta. He
Right.
could have gone back to Cleveland. He could have re-signed with Cleveland.
Right.
He could have gone to Chicago.
Right.
But he chose Miami.
we were thoroughly shocked that Cleveland didn't fight harder to keep him in the first place.
Well, right.
Remember that?
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, do we blame Cleveland for letting him leave in the first place?
Well,
You could.
part 3 coming at you next.